Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. I've got a replay from NiteDog from Cartel 2 loaded into Lakeville in his Tier 9 German Heavy E75 tank. He is middle tier in a Heavy, and he is on Lakeville. And happily, he is not going to the Valley. Though you'll see that will be a player in this game. He is going to head over here towards the town, across the north to the east. One thing I would say here, NiteDog, is make sure your turret is pointed towards the threat. The threat's going to be somebody coming down that road or spotted by one of your teammates that you could get a shot on. In addition, anytime you're crossing the enemy and putting your side towards them, put the turret towards the threat, because if their shot is a little errant and it doesn't actually hit your hull, it may bounce off your turret, which is stronger when it's pointing forward. You started to and then didn't do it. So what you'll do is just move your view there, let your turret follow, and then lock it. Lock your turret that way, and then you can start putting your view back towards the front so you don't run into all your buddies. And you'll notice that that Tiger 2, you'd have had gun on much faster. You sort of accepted once he started moving, and you hit him in the front, got the pen anyway. A little shift to the left, though, would have been into his side, and that would have been a better shot, I think. I don't know if you have any more zoom. I might have used a little more zoom just to fine-tune that shot. You had the time. You can see that there's something wrong with my replay. I don't have any of his shells showing. It's an older version, so sometimes the message comes up, says, do you want to watch it anyway? It may not, everything might not work, and for a wonder it actually worked, but it doesn't have his shells showing. So let's take a look at this real quick. Where are you? You are the lead tank other than the Schwarzpanzer and the Skoda hanging down there. You're really the only beef that you've got over there. You got some campers hanging out on the road, and it looks like your big platoon has decided to use their turrets in depression and head down into the valley. The enemy doesn't have any arty, which is one of the reasons why that's better than a terrible idea, but still not a great idea. They do have a lot of big TDs that they're going to have to chew through, but let's see what ends up happening here. Driving up the road, that guy gets ammo racked by the Skoda. Maybe he has several hits on him at once. And the Schwartz dies quickly. You're still heading into town, but you can see that they've invested quite a few tanks, to include their IS-4, which you don't really have an answer for, not with the tanks you have. And most of your buddies are camping up there. So there's the IS-4. He just pushes through town. Take a shot of opportunity, but bounce. Holy cow. And you're getting pushed. Alright, so you get hit, and you shift your hull. You've really got your side hull to this T-32. I don't know why he doesn't notice you right there, but if he'd have just turned his turret and popped you in the side, he'd have pinned you. That was a pretty good shot. 5100 is the same thing. You're keeping your side to him. It's just over angle. Just shift a little right, and you've got a great angle to the 32 and a better angle to the 5100, who's going to end up hitting you again. Bap, and ends up ammo racking you right there. So those are a hit or two from the 5100 you shouldn't have taken, or should have been made more difficult to pin by at least putting a little more front armor. It was a good situation. You could have actually put a little angle on both those guys, and given the T-32 a straighter angle wasn't going to hurt you. He's going to have a hard time pinning. He's going to need gold. It's a good thing there's no arty. I'm assuming you realize this. It's also a good thing they don't have anybody coming up that road at all, because you'd be getting popped in the side. But since you haven't taken aggro from it, and you are doing some spotting for those guys. So there's another example. Too much side armor, man. I mean, you really just exposed the side of your tank to that guy. Be careful with him, because he reloads pretty quick, and then you're just sort of staring at a 5100 who's on a reload. I think you're going to take, yeah, another hit right there. Yeah, probably a good idea to get out of there. You're really getting pummeled. Pummeled by the charioteer. And you're getting this little V right here. You spend a lot of time here. Not a terrible idea. Again, it's a good thing that they didn't have any snipers down here. That could have gone poorly. 24 hit points. Somebody is shooting at you. Probably these two guys in the town right here. The other thing I noticed is you do have to adjust your timing when you've got an ammo rack, and that's something that's not very easy when you're used to a certain timing on a reload and it goes to much more on a tank. There's a good shot right here. Sometimes you'll expose yourself before you're ready to shoot, and when you're thrown off on that timing, that can cost you some hits. So when I get ammo racked with tanks, I become extra careful on when I poke. and expose myself. Probably even more so than usual because I know the timing is off. Well, those guys are doing some good work. You're keeping them spotted. There's a charioteer and an IS left in there. 5100 is out. 232 is out. Your guys in the valley actually won for a wonder and have pushed straight through. And you do a lot of rocking and rolling right here. Skoda's finally moving up to help you a little bit. WT's done some pretty good work. Well, there's the charioteer, so where's the IS-4? And you really spend a lot of time here kind of rocking back and forth. I'm assuming you're trying to spot him by putting your vision device there, the commander's hatch just up and over that hill. And maybe you're worried about HE or something. I guess that's what you're doing, but you really do spend a lot of time here. For my money, I'd have just shifted back a little bit, put my armor towards the town more, and maybe poked around that corner or side scraped on that corner right behind you and try to look at him up that way, if that's what you were trying to do. You're not going to get hit from the road. You can see that your guys are way up the road. And we keep on working there. Skoda is in town, so that's interesting. Let's see if he sees anything. Oh, there's the IS-4, which I think you notice a little bit later. There it is. So it looks like you've noticed. Maybe you noticed when you're trying to get up the hill. I just backed off that hill. There's no reason to go up and over it. Just back up and come around the corner. It took you forever to do that. And at this point, you're just looking for another hit or two. Game is well in hand. Trying to get into where you can actually get a shot on somebody is going to be a bit of a trick. Maybe the IS-4. So we'll just speed this thing up a little bit. Oh, there he is. So, yep, just head in there. Not sure why you stopped there. I think you were looking at somebody over on the cap. Thought I just charged in there looking to get a shot on this IS-4. I mentioned earlier, this is just a situation where you're looking for a shot. And I wouldn't even be concerned if I died here because you know that guy's going to go down. Obviously try to get as many shots as possible, but because you know he's going to get vaporized pretty quickly, you're just looking to get in here, get your shot, defend yourself if you can. If you're lucky, he'll bounce a couple more and you'll get one more shot. Because your ammo rack, that's highly unlikely right there. Did all that in 2x speed. So nice job, man. I mean, it was a bit of a weird one on Lakeville. That's an example of the Valley push working, which everybody is death on. Yes, it can work, but again, a compliant enemy for the most part. Your guys pushed through that platoon, ended up doing pretty well, I guess. You'll come across here. I would keep my turret looking that way. You'd have a shot faster on the Tiger II. Some aim issues we talked about right there. You came around, and good plan just stopping right there. Once you notice the Schwartz was the only guy, most of your power was over here and a bunch of campers. Pushing in here with all that stuff that came through would have been a quick death for you. You started to back up and fight. Standing there and fighting, I don't know. I talked about the whole situation as far as where you were putting your armor, so that was a problem. Another option would have been to continue to pull back and get into some of these rocks back here, side scrape rocks. You could have dove down on the little V you were in earlier, but that would have limited your ability to shoot to some extent, but I think it would have conserved a lot more hit points. So the armor situation and not backing up to a more defensible position cost you a bunch of hit points there. You barely survived it, so nice job doing that, and you did get some good spotting between you and the T-50 between knocking these guys out. So it worked out for you, but could have done a couple things better there. Slightly slow to notice what the rest of the battle was developing to and getting moving out there, although you were worried about, obviously, the IS-4 taking you out, and then just rage in there and take that last shot. So nice job, man. Overall, pretty good. We'll catch you later. If you guys like what you see, go ahead and sub. Otherwise, see ya.